Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we're looking at the NBA picks for tonight. We have Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Bucks looking to tie the series 2-2, so let's get started. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Looking at the pricing today, you have Giannis as your most expensive player, as nobody would be surprised. Back-to-back 40-point games for him. He's looked like a monster the last two. Only difference is in Phoenix they lost, and last game they won by 20. We know the Bucks are super good at home. A lot of the role players play a lot better at home. Giannis feeds off the crowd's energy. He was awesome out there to watch. He did that in just 38 minutes. Normally in these types of games you could see him creep over 40, but it just wasn't close in the fourth, so he got some rest at the end. But I really want to play Giannis at the captain today. Maybe you can get lucky and play like Holiday or play Middleton or play Chris Paul and he goes off. But for me, Giannis is definitely the safest approach at your captain spot and probably might even be the optimal because we do have some nice pricing on some of these cheaper guys today, like Cam Johnson's price tag has dipped back from, we went from 6K to 46 down to 38. So he's a good guy to get into your lineups for value. Tucker is still PJ Tucker. He plays 30 plus minutes. He hits some shots, plays some defense, gets some rebounds. His price tag has also dipped from 46 to 42 to 34. So it seems like on DraftKings they are hoping that people play Giannis at captain, which is probably going to be the most popular approach just with the value play. So maybe the only way to be different is to like leave some money on the table if you don't want to play Giannis at captain, unless you want to play Chris Paul or Middleton or Drew Holiday. Devin Booker, he's been struggling. Struggled last game in terms of shooting. Struggled in game one in terms of shooting. They kind of just sat him down and got him some rest in the third and fourth quarters. He wasn't really out there even when the game was kind of competitive, not super competitive, but when they were within like 15 to 20 points, he was still on the bench. Only played 29 minutes. Maybe his legs are a bit tired. He's been playing a ton this postseason. They just needed to get him some rest. So I expect Devin Booker to come out ready to go. I think he'll have a much better game. He is very expensive though at 10-4. He's more expensive than Chris Paul. He's more expensive than Middleton and Holiday for that reason. I kind of like those guys a little bit more than Devin Booker. Drew Holiday, I think, makes some sense. He probably got some more confidence after how well he played last game. He hit 5 threes. 3 of them coming in the third quarter, plays huge minutes. He also plays great defense, so a good shot for him to get a couple of blocks and steals every single game. He plays very aggressive. He gets you rebounds, gets you assists, has a ball in his hands. So whereas we've seen Middleton also play a lot of minutes. Middleton, his shots have come down a little bit with Giannis just taking over games the last couple. He went from like shooting 20 plus times in the Atlanta series, 26 times in that game one to last two games he just shot 16 and 14 times. So I think you can still make it work with Chris Middleton, but $800, I think I like Drew Holiday a little bit more today. And then on the Suns side, I've been playing Chris Paul a bunch. He's 96. He looks great. DeAndre Ayton also looks very appealing. He's $8,400. He's had a couple of monster games this series already, 49 and 41 DraftKings points. He was on pace for another like 40 plus, maybe 50-point outing last game, but he was in heavy foul trouble. He had a huge first quarter, and then he was just picked up fouls, finished with 5 fouls, only played 24 minutes. So putting up 32 in 24 minutes is super encouraging. Gets you some block shots, some steals. Gets you a bunch of rebounds. Amazing shot to get a double-double. I mean, the only reason he didn't get a double-double last game was just because he played 24 minutes. But I do like DeAndre Ayton as one of my favorite Suns today. I think I like him. Similar to Chris Paul, him and Chris Paul are the two that I really would want to get. If I just had to pick one, I like Ayton, his price tag a little bit more. We saw Jay Crowder. He has been the role player that the Suns have counted on the last couple of games, hitting a bunch of threes. He's hit 9 of his last 12 threes. Gets you rebounds, plays just solid out there, hitting some open threes. Sometimes he's matched up on Giannis, which doesn't really work well for Jay Crowder as he kind of just gets run over in the paint. But he does play tough defense. He tries his best out there, so got to give him that. But I like Crowder. I like him a lot more than Mikal Bridges, especially on the road. Like Bridges is the type of player, young player that you would expect to do a little bit better at home in terms of just playing in front of the home crowd. I think Crowder, with some of the more experience that he has, he's accustomed to playing. Last year played in the finals with the Heat. He's more accustomed to playing in some hostile environments. So rather go Crowder over Bridges, save $800. Or they can go super cheap and go with like a Cam Johnson, who's only $3,800. I like to get to him just because we've seen him play some extra minutes at times. I think he will see some good minutes again today after how well he played last game. And he was one of the few that kind of had a decent game for the Suns last time out in Milwaukee. So very good for him, even though he's super young. But he came out off the bench and gave them a spark in the third. And his price tag is just a lot more appealing than like Bridges is 76. I can get Crowder. I can get Crowder $800 cheaper, and then I can even get Cam Johnson at almost $3,000 cheaper, or almost $4,000 cheaper, 3,800 bucks. So that makes some sense for me to save some money and go with Cam Johnson instead. And the Kaminsky wasn't the optimal lineup last game. That was because DeAndre Ayton was in foul trouble, and the game turned into a blowout at the end. So maybe the game turns into a blowout again, and we see Kaminsky play well. I don't think I would play Kaminsky and DeAndre Ayton in the same lineup because they're not going to be on the floor together. I feel like if Ayton has a very, very good game, then probably Kaminsky won't. But we'll see. For me, I don't want to pay 2K for Kaminsky, especially if people play him just because he had a decent game. I'd rather take a shot and just play Tucker maybe, or go with Connaughton. Or definitely go with Cam Johnson instead. And then we saw Portis play well. He's 54, so he is somewhat expensive. I think I'd probably take a shot on some of the cheaper guys, or maybe even look to like maybe Brook Lopez instead. So overall, these are the 4 that I really like. You still leave you with plenty to fill it out. If you want to go Crowder, if you wanted to go with like Connaughton or Tucker, definitely have a lot of options. But that's it for the DraftKings side. Let's talk about the FanDuel picks. All right, on FanDuel here, you have Giannis at 16K. No surprise that he is far and away the most expensive player. Then you have 2 guys in the $14,000, both Chris Paul and Devin Booker. I still like Chris Paul a little bit more than Booker. In the 13K range, you have Middleton and DeAndre Ayton. I think I like Ayton. It's 1,300 or 13,000, a little bit more than Middleton. I love the price tag on Jrue Holiday at only 12,000. The way he's been playing, you can play him at the star or you can play him at the pro position. The MVP is going to be reserved for Giannis. And then in the utility, you have a couple of guys that are just very affordable. You have Jay Crowder is down to 95, so he makes some sense just because he's super affordable. You have Connaughton at 85. You have Bobby Portis at 8,000, who is appealing just because he plays, even though he comes off the bench, he gives you some spark. For him only being $500 more than separated than PJ Tucker, I think you could look to Portis instead. But for me, I like Giannis, I like Jrue Holiday, and then I think I like Crowder at 95. I like Crowder more than Cam Johnson, just being $500 more expensive. Leaves you with 11,000 plus, so you can still get to, one of DeAndre Ayton. Still, you can still get to like Chris Paul or Devin Booker to plug into your Sun spots. But I do like these 3 a lot. Giannis is basically a lock, but Jrue Holiday at 12,000, he looks very appealing. And like Jay Crowder, the way he's been shooting the ball, I think he can stay hot for one more game at least. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.